Welcome back to the Mr. G Computer Science channel. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button to get the latest updates. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up for the video once you've had a chance to watch it. Today's topic is file handling using procedures. Write an algorithm using pseudocode to meet the following requirements. A user will enter their first name and surname. From these inputs, it will determine the username, which is the first initial, and the surname. So for an example, if we enter James Bond, they would have the username of J Bond. The algorithm will then call a procedure to write this username to a data file that is entered by the user. So let's take a look now at the details of the procedure. The name of the procedure is to be called save data. The parameters that are required by this procedure are the username and the name of the file to write that data to. So a description would be to take the username and write it to the given data file. So here we have our procedure save data, which we'll go into in a moment, and we have our main program body underneath the procedure. So you can see the first three lines involve entering the first name, entering the surname, and entering the file name that will be used to write the data to. So our next line of code will assign the login name to a variable called login ID. So this line of code says login ID is assigned the value of first name at index position 0, which means the very first character of the first name. So in this case, the J of James. And then we have the plus sign, which is used for string concatenation or to join multiple strings together. And we're concatenating the surname to the J. So we're going to take the J from the first name, we will take the J from James, and we will add in Bond to create the login ID of J Bond. We are now calling the procedure save data. We're sending the parameter of the login ID and the file name to the procedure save data. So the login ID will go into the parameter plogin. I used P as a prefix, so it reminds me that I'm dealing with a parameter. So the parameter of login ID, and the second parameter is for the file ID. This is the two pieces of information that the procedure needs for it to work. So my first line of code within the procedure opens my data file using the parameter pFileID. It then writes the login ID parameter to the data file and then closes the data file. To help our understanding of file handling, I've included this little diagram. When we open a file, we can do one of two operations. We can read the data file, or we can write data to the data file. And once we're finished with that, we close the data file. So the analogy I'm using here is a book. We open the book, we read or write in the book, and then we close the book. And it's very important that you remember these three stages when you're coding file I/O or file input-output operations. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get the latest updates, and give me a thumbs up for the video.